Good morning, seventh grade. I just wanted to go through your review answers for Chapter 12 and then talk a little bit about what is going to be on your Chapter 12 test. Your Chapter 12 test is going to be on Friday. So the plan is on Wednesday, which is today. You guys are going to check your answers, so you won't have any work to turn in for today. Thursday, we're going to play a Kahoot. And Friday, you will take your test. Okay, so let's talk about the answers to your review sheet. A lot of these were pretty simple. They were all questions from your quizzes, so they should have been pretty easy for you to find the answers. Some of them, like this one here, is just a definition. What is interest? I'm going to go through and explain a few of these that might just be a little bit confusing. For example, here, number 4, why are taxes compulsory? So make sure you remember for that one, compulsory means something you have to do. So why are they compulsory? Well, it's to make sure that people will pay them. If they don't have to pay them, then we wouldn't be able to collect taxes. Don't forget that another way that governments raise money is they charge fees for different licenses. So like when you go get a driver's license, you get a marriage license, contractor's license, you have to pay fees for that. And that's another way that governments can raise their money. And then what is a bond? A bond is basically saying that the government has borrowed money from whoever owns the bond. So when you get older and you start looking at like how to invest your money, you can buy something called bonds, which basically means that you are buying this certificate from the government, and eventually you can turn that certificate back in and you will get the money that you paid for it back plus interest. So that's the whole reason why people buy bonds, is because it's a way for you to make extra money. So if you buy a bond for $100 and then say 5 years later you turn it back in, now that bond might be worth $150. So it's a way for you to increase your money, and it's another way for the government to get money. Moving on to section 2, most of these are all definitions. So just make sure you study those, and you can use this on your test as well. Something that I really wanted to just go over really is just number 11 and 12. So number 11, how do retired people and people with disabilities get income? Well, those people can collect Social Security. So when you reach a certain age, I believe the retirement age now is 65, you can start collecting your Social Security. So when you guys get older and you guys get jobs, every paycheck you get, they'll take out Social Security taxes. And that money goes into the Social Security system so that when you do retire, there will be money for you you'll get a little bit of that money back every month. It's a way to make money when you stop working. It's not meant to completely replace your income, so keep that in mind when you guys get older. You still have to save for your own retirement as well, but it is a little bit of money that you'll get every month to kind of help you out with your living expenses. Now, if you are disabled, you can also collect Social Security. So if for some reason you are unable to work, you can collect your Social Security early to give you money, some type of income to help you survive, since for whatever reason you cannot work. And then number 12, I just wanted to explain how our income tax is decided. Well, income taxes depend on how much you make. How much you make in your job will determine how much you get charged in taxes. Your income taxes are not the same because everybody makes different amount of money, and it wouldn't be fair to charge someone taxes, a large amount of taxes, but maybe they don't make as much money. So that's why it varies from person to person. Then moving on to section 3, that quiz was all true and false questions. It is not going to be true and false on your test. It will be multiple choice, so make sure you pay attention to the answers here and study. And don't forget, you can use this entire review here on your test when you take the test, okay? A lot of you are obviously doing that, and you're doing very well, but I noticed that some of you I don't think are using your test reviews or your quiz reviews, or you're not using your book. So make sure you guys are using that, because it's a really easy way to get a good grade. So why not? So for section 3 here, this was just all about kind of like how the government collects taxes and some different terms for what they do with our tax money. So remember, the IRS is in charge of collecting the taxes, and then the president will work with the Office of Budget and Management to create a federal budget and decide on how to spend that tax money. Congress also has to approve the budget as well. So just some terms that go along with that budget. Make sure you don't get these mixed up because they're easy to get confused. Remember, a surplus is extra money. So we learned about that last year in 6th grade when we studied our ancient civilizations. So sometimes we collect too much money, and the government actually has an excessive amount of money, which is great. It doesn't happen all the time. Sometimes we have a deficit, which means that we are actually short on money. It means we don't have enough money to fund the different things that we need to fund. And then sometimes we get it just right, where we have a balanced budget. That means our revenues, which is the amount of taxes taken in, equals how much we're spending, or our expenditures. Okay, so that's a good thing. And how do we keep track of all this and make sure all the money is getting spent correctly? Well, that our federal government is audited, which means that they will like trained accountants will actually look at how the government's spending their money and make sure that everything's being spent correctly, and that our money is being used for what the government says they want to use it for. So your test on Friday will be 20 multiple choice questions. You can use this review on your test. You can use your book. If you guys have any questions about your test, let me know. So no work to turn in for today, Wednesday. Just check your answers, make sure they're correct. If you haven't turned in your work yet, make sure you get that in. And then Thursday, we're going to have a Kahoot Zoom meeting. So I will be emailing you guys that information. And then Friday, you will take your test. If you guys have any questions, send me an email. Miss you all.